Many entrepreneurs also chase quick wins. How can they learn to think like value investors in life and business?
Yeah, we all like that dopamine hit, don't we? Woo! Come on now. Get me a little dopamine running around in my head. Woo! That would be so good. So I'm going to make $20,000 in 2 minutes. Buy a scratch ticket. Buy a scratch ticket. If that's your thing, go
Mm.
play the lottery.
From firefighter to fund leader. Okay, that's a massive leap
Yeah.
altogether. And what internal shift helped you rewrite your mindset from service to scale?
Yeah, that's a great question too. I get that often, right? How do you go from fund manager, TV personality, house flipper, how do you end up in
Mm,
that basket when you were, in the
right.
firehouse? And what was the mindset shift? What's interesting is it's
Talk to us about failures. Like, what role did failure play in sharpening your leadership instincts? And if possible, share your favorite failure as well.
if you think you're not going
Mm.
to fail in this business, you're not going to make mistakes, then you might as well just pack up, go watch a Netflix rerun or something, and go live your life well.
So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, folks, we are joined by Dave Seymour, who is the CEO and co founder of Legacy Alliance. He's a powerhouse in real estate and private equity. And from being a firefighter to leading a $350 million fund, Dave's journey from flipping Boston to institutional investing is a masterclass in scaling vision into systems. And he's known for his values first leadership and execution driven mindset. He now empowers entrepreneurs to turn purpose into performance through structured growth, transparency, and discipline. So, Dave, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. How are you doing today?
I'm well, Naveed. Thank you for having me, my friend. I appreciate you. This is fun.
Most welcome. And Dave, first things first, why should somebody tune into our conversation and spend their valuable time with us today?
Yeah, why should somebody spend time with us? Because the opportunities to capitalize on commercial real estate, especially here in the U.S., is now. It's a now time. It's not a maybe. It's a now.
Excellent. So, folks, today we are going to delve into a conversation on the topic at hand beyond flipping the systems behind sustainable success. But before we get started, here's an exciting twist. As always, let us tickle our guest's brain first. So, Dave, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'm going to mention a few
Okay.
words.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm loosening up. Let's go, baby.
All right. So, here comes my first word: curiosity,
Critical.
invention,
Yes.
future,
Bright.
universe,
Friendly.
leadership,
Camaraderie.
success,
Work.
wealth,
Imminent.
aliens.
Everywhere.
Okay, comes my last word: life.
Family.
Amazing. So, yeah, spot on responses. Thank you so much for participating in the rapid fire round number one. We have one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode, so stay tuned. And Dave, thank you once again. And it's an honor to have you as part of our journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. So, let's get the ball rolling. Talk to us about who is your guiding voice.
Yeah, look, my guiding voice is really my conscience at the end of the day. I, as a private equity manager, controlling other people's capital, trying to get a good return
Mhm.
with solidity, with sticks and bricks. I'm not in the crypto world. I don't have imaginary investments. I like solidity. I always say it's the Clydesdale of investing. It's just nice and slow and steady. So, that guiding voice is transparency, commitment, consistency, discipline,
Mhm.
and being able to help. At the end of the day, one of my mentors said to me, Naveen, very early on, he said, Dave, it's okay. It really is okay to make great money and do
Mhm.
great work, right? You don't have to be off in the shadows to make great money. It's okay. So, I take a lot of those principles with me every time I step into the office or step out into the field.
Right. Got it. And talk to us about your success mantra now, as in top three things that have contributed to your success so far.
Yeah, that's a great question. Success mantra. For me, it's educate, don't speculate. There's a lot of free information in the universe, especially now with AI, right?
Mhm.
You can ask AI a question, and within seconds, you have some responses that you would deem appropriate. Nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that. But to be able to educate, don't speculate. Number one. Number
Mhm.
two, don't educate just for the sake of education. Do not puff yourself up as an intelligent human being because you have, degrees coming out of, every orifice of your body. It's not what it's about. It's about implementation is the second thing, right? It's not what we know, it's what we do that counts. So that's the second. And then the
Mhm.
third would simply be help others. If you can put people first and put profit
Mhm.
second, I promise you magic will happen in your business. And look, also in your personal life, maybe. What do I know?
Yeah.
But I like to think of that. Educate, don't speculate, implement, and serve. And if you can do those three things and do them well, good
Mhm.
things will happen.
Wonderful. Most importantly, I like put people first than profits. I think that's a
Yeah,
great one.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, Dave, now talk to us about your toughest lessons that you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, so many, brother. So many tough lessons to learn. Look, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, there is little to no flexibility in a piece of real estate, right? It's an
Yeah.
inanimate object. So for me, the biggest lessons learned have always been through people. And unfortunately,
Mhm.
not everybody is a good actor. Not everybody has the same, values that you have. And I hate to admit this, but I have to. I used to admit, I used to start everybody at 100, right? You'd have 100
Right.
good guy coins, and then you would lose those coins over time as you did not do as you said you were going to do. And that served me well for a while. Unfortunately, as the game and the stakes get bigger and bigger, today I have to. You got to earn your stripes. You've got to earn your good guy coins today rather than be given them. And that's
Mhm.
fraud. That's just straight up over promising and under delivering. That's a lack of integrity. That's
Mhm.
Look, man, money makes people stupid. It really does, and I mean that with
Right.
sincerity. It's if you do not have a good heart and you're broke, your heart does not
Mhm.
get better just because you have capital, right? You have some wealth and some
Right.
some sustenance in life. So I'd rather be with somebody who is broke with a good heart than somebody who is, can write checks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 million, but they don't have integrity. They don't care about other people. So, that's a lesson that I've learned the hard way. But again, way too many stories to tell in this short period of time for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, got it. And moving to the next one, like from firefighter to fund leader. Okay, that's a massive leap
Yeah.
altogether. And what internal shift helped you rewrite your mindset from service to scale?
Yeah, that's a great question too. I get that often, right? How do you go from fund manager, TV personality, house flipper, how do you end up in
Mhm.
that basket when you were, in the
Right.
firehouse? And what was the mindset shift? What's interesting is it's not that massive of a mindset shift to go from,
Mhm.
the structure of the fire service into business at a high level. And if we think about it, as a firefighter, we were trained and we were guided to go
Mhm.
against our natural instincts, right? When a building is on
Mhm. Mhm.
fire, when somebody is smashed underneath a car, when there's a shooting or a stabbing or all of the terrible things that can happen in life, our fight or flight says run away. Well, as a firefighter, I'm trained to
Right.
run towards the danger. Now, that's very dramatic in the telling. So, how does that apply in business? Well, in business, to be able to um, transcend, if you will, or move up in levels, up in performance in business, it takes the same things. It's the ability to not let fear be the dominant factor. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two,
Okay.
believe that it's possible for you as an individual. That belief, that mindset shift for me came from surrounding myself with people who were doing what I wanted to do, right? Because there's
Mhm.
some research that has been done that says we as Homo sapiens, right, no matter who we are, where we're from, we will
Mhm.
assimilate into the group of people that we
Yeah.
hang around with. So when I was a firefighter, I was a firefighter, sports and BS and
Mhm.
stories and stuff, right? But in business, I surrounded
Yeah.
myself with people who were operating at a very high level, internationally,
Mhm.
nationally. And by that
Mhm.
association alone, the ships begin to rise. And what I'll also add to that is this is that you still have to bring value to those relationships. Understand what your value component is. And when you get commended
Mhm.
and you get results for your God given talents, whatever they may be,
Right.
it's a beautiful thing. And finally, to shift my mindset, as I got more and more successful, I started looking for rooms where I was the dumbest person in the room. I don't I don't I
Mhm.
don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, whether it's
Yeah.
technology, whether it's systematized approaches, whether it's, business 101. I want to be around people who are performing at a very, very high level because again, that
Mhm.
rises the boats. That rises the boats. So that's been really important in my mindset. And not believing the enemy when he's whispering in my ear. The enemy says you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this, you're not that. Those are just
Mhm.
lies. Those are lies. And as entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you appreciate this yourself, as entrepreneurs, we wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a voice that lies to us in our head. And unfortunately, it's our own voice. You know what I mean? So I pray a lot. I give it up to my God and I say, you take this. This one isn't for me today. I'm gonna go do my work, right? I'm
True.
gonna lean into some good works to serve others. So yeah, that's been critical. That's been critical for me.
Yeah. Good one. I loved all your inputs. And in fact, to be the dumbest person in a room, right? I think it takes courage. And
Yeah,
initially, it might feel a little awkward, but
yeah,
it is going to help us immensely. And thanks for pointing that out.
yeah,
And
for sure.
Dave, you also often say hustle without systems burns out fast, right? So, what is the first system every entrepreneur must build before chasing growth?
Yeah, great questions again. Look, systematized approach. The first system I can only give you my experience. The first systems that I had to employ was understanding how to get
Hmm.
around my computer, right? From my PDF to my
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheets to my calendar to organization. If you are a disorganized individual, even me, the left brain, right brain, I'm very creative. I make a big mess and then I try and
Hmm.
monetize it with people around me. But to have some kind of foundation is important. So identifying goal structure. What do I want to be doing, and where do I want to be in my business in 1, 3, 5 years, and then reverse engineer everything. So if the goal is a financial number, then chunk it down. Chunk down all of these systems, all of these goals. How many contractors
Hmm.
would pick up the phone if I called? If there's only 3 out of
Yeah.
50 will pick up the phone, that's a freaking problem if you're in real estate, right? You got to be able to get up that gradient. How many sales calls are you making a day? How many podcasts are you doing in a week? What is your time about? And when I started to learn
Mhm.
about one of my favorite things was the 80-20 rule. We make 80% of our income through 20% of our work, right? So how do
Yeah.
we focus more on that 20%? You got to identify it first of
Hmm.
all. So these are all foundational approaches to business, system oriented, and then surround yourself with people smarter than you to implement them, right? Like if you ask me to
Yes.
you know work in a spreadsheet to create cash flow analysis and projections and all the things that go on in my industry, I'd just stick a big ice pick in my eye and say I'm done, I'm out of here. So having the people who understand the tools at their disposal, let them do what they do
Hmm.
well. Know what
Hmm.
your lane is, right, and then execute well on the gifts that God gave you is a systematized approach in and of itself. So it's okay to delegate, number one. And then number two, you don't have to know everything to do something. It's so important.
Yeah.
So important. So
Hmm.
anyway, I've done my best
Yeah.
to try and get all of those things somewhat right.
Wonderful. I'm loving this conversation. And Dave, talk to us about failures. Like, what role did failure play in sharpening your leadership instincts? And if possible, share your favorite failure as well.
Yeah, look, I kind of ties into, lessons learned. It's the same thing, right? Failure is inevitable. If you think you're not going
Mm.
to fail in this business, you're not going to make mistakes, then you might as well just pack up, go watch a Netflix rerun or something, and go live your life well. Um, Failure has a dollar number attached to it, and what I love about education, which I've been in for decades, what I love about education is I can now buy somebody else's mistakes, right? I can pay for somebody else's failures. And I've done that a lot. I've paid for mentors, I've paid for coaches, I've paid for systems like we discussed to, I call it boxing out the corners. Like I want to make sure there's nothing hiding in the shadows, right, to cause me harm. So if I can do the very best I can to box out those corners, it eliminates or it begins to restrict the amount of opportunity there is for failure. Now, that being said, if I'm not that person to buy Naveen's experience, buy your coaching, buy your mentorship, buy your business models, if I'm not that person to do that, then I will have to do it myself and I will pay the price for my own mistakes. It just depends on the
Hmm.
confidence level that somebody has. Um, I've trusted I've trusted contractors with millions of dollars, Naveen, and they just straight up
Hmm.
stole from me. So I've got pain, I've got
Wow.
scars, right? But when you
Hmm.
document where those failings happened and how that could occur, you're in a position in the future where you can then look at the next situation and say, okay, I learned a massive, massive lesson there, right? I had to cover the call, as they say in the stock market, right? I had to cover that bet. So, you can learn from those experiences, and they're not any less or any more painful than smaller mistakes and experiences that we have. I mean, I did a single family house back in the day. I thought it was okay with the septic system, and it ended up being $45,000. So you watch the margins on a deal like that go from, hey, we're going to make 60, so I hope we make 10. You know what I mean? So you learn, you learn,
Yeah.
you learn, you learn. The only way you don't learn the lessons is by not doing anything. And unfortunately, most
Hmm.
people, most people do that. They do nothing rather than getting on the field of war, if you will, get in the game. So yeah, fail often and fail forward. That's what one of my friends used to say to me. And I'm like, what do you mean fail
And
often? He
fail
said, because
fast.
every failure is an experience to lead you towards success, right? um, carve out your own path, if you will. So yeah, a lot of challenges, brother.
Yeah, good one. And many entrepreneurs also chase quick wins. How can they learn to think like value investors in life and business?
Yeah, we all like that dopamine hit, don't we? Woo! Come on now, get me a little dopamine running around in my head. Woo! That would be so good. So I'm going to make $20,000 in 2 minutes. Buy a scratch ticket. Buy a scratch ticket if that's your thing. Go
Mm.
play the lottery. Um, Beware of that. Not to say that there aren't quick hits out there. I mean, I've done $100,000 wholesale transaction that took me 3 to 4 hours. That's a good day at the
Mhm.
office, but they don't come all the time. Um, it's the long and the steady race that's run that creates, long-term wealth, cash flow and assets,
Mhm.
multifamily assets, commercial assets, notes, lending, getting your money out the door to work harder than you do, is the secret. So, yeah, the quick hits are nice, but, they're like a one night stand. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now I'm going to go over here and love somebody else. You know what I mean? It doesn't create sustainability, right? I want to fall in love. I want to hold hands. So yeah, that's my take on that. Dopamine is a terrible thing. I was a paramedic in the fire department, so I understand the chemical responses in the brain between dopamine and
Mhm.
epinephrine, and they cause tension. They cause tension, and the body is
Mhm.
looking for resolution. And we think the resolution is in that TikTok video or that quick hit deal or, the next, person in my life, whatever it is you're looking for, that next drink for some people, and it's always temporary. It's always temporary. God and faith is permanent. Relationships are permanent, right? It creates a spiritual path rather than a, hey, can I get a quick 20 grand out of this thing and hurt 3 people along the way, It's not good. It's not good. So,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah, stop with the dopamine. It doesn't last very long. Did you hear me? Okay,
Mm.
good.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. That's a good one, actually. So, Dave, talk to us about your formula for turning vision and vision statements into measurable as well as executable systems.
Yeah. So a mission statement, right? Integrity, honesty, and decency. There's a mission statement, if you will. How do you actually implement that? Well, it's accountability, using that as an example. Not only holding yourself accountable as an individual, but also your team. So if that's the statement, right? Integrity, accountability, honesty, if that's the statement, then you need to visit that with yourself and your team once a week, twice a week, whatever it needs. And then allow team members to hold each other accountable. And I think that's the most important
Mhm.
part. Otherwise, you're the big mean boss, you're the CEO, everybody sit up straight, he's coming into the office. You don't want to be playing those games. You just don't. It builds camaraderie, it builds good, solid team foundation. So allowing team members to hold each other accountable, number one. Number two, revisiting what that mission statement was. And if you do that with every one of your statements, whatever they may be, they'll become part of the culture because we're always talking about the culture of business, right? And that changes over
Yep.
time. We're not all out there anymore trying to. I had a kid work for me one time. He used to shout, we eat what we kill. And I used to say, well, we don't want to kill anything. We're farmers, brother. We're farming relationships. So I actually made this guy every day come into my office. And I did it kind of humorously, but kind of to reposition him anyway. I used to say to him, look, dude, what are you today, a killer or a farmer? He said, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. I'm farming relationships. I said, yes, you are. We're not killing anyone. We're not killing them. We're not doing that. We're going to farm. We're going to build relationships. So yeah, hold each other accountable and allow the team to do the same, and you'll get some success with it.
Yeah, love it. And how do you balance innovation with the discipline of
I
process?
don't. I don't. I don't. I'm the innovator. I'm the big thinker. I make a mess, like I said earlier, and I let everybody else deploy the processes underneath me. Sometimes they look at me and they go, "What the heck are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it!
Mhm.
You know, we haven't cleaned up this last mess, and you're already making another one." So I have to be mindful of
Mhm.
bandwidth. But I like to think big.
Mhm.
I mean, we're doing that now with our education platform. Our goal is to bring in anywhere
Right.
between 1,000 to 5,000 investors to come into our funnel system, to come into our education platform so that they can go out and
Wow.
find deal
Mhm.
flow internationally as well as nationally, find deal flow and look to partner with us because of the amount of opportunities coming down the pike. So that's a pretty big goal, right? It's a pretty big goal to manage that
Mm. Yeah.
many clients and new students and new relationships. But I'm going to make the mess, and I promise you the team will monetize and clean it up. So, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And in an age of artificial intelligence and automation, right? What human qualities will still define great leaders?
Phew, personality. I don't care what you got for AI, bro. You got to have a personality. All right. You can't reproduce an AI smile like the one you have right now, right? You
Indeed,
can't produce an AI,
indeed.
you know, yeah, raise of the eyebrow, for example. Yeah, it's all personality, brother. I'm a human being. I want to shake your hand. I want to break bread with you. I want to learn about your family. I want to learn about your business goals. I want to, it's not
Mhm.
AI is a tool. It's a tool that cannot replace
Yeah.
this conversation that we're having. Yeah, I get it. I've got an AI bot, okay? And the AI bot took my accent and absolutely butchered it because it was like, "Oh, is this guy from London, England, which is where I was born? Is he from Wheeling, West Virginia, which is where I lived? And now he's been in Boston for 30 plus years. He's an English Bostonian with a West
Mhm.
Virginian tang." Like the AI, I broke it. I broke the AI bot. They made me sound like a New Zealand alcoholic who liked to do cocaine with an Australian. So it was pretty horrific. So again, relationships, real human beings having real conversations, is something that I believe AI can't replace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are really great inputs. And looking back, what would you tell your firefighter self today about money, mindset, and also mission?
Yeah, I'd tell him to get in the game sooner rather than later. I spent a lot of time
Mm.
following a broken program, which was trading time for money. But I only followed that program for so long because that's the program that my father followed, right? So I was a product of my past. So I'd just tell Dave, I was 29 when I got in the fire department. I'd tell him now, yeah, great career, good job, great relationships, but it's not gonna. It has a ceiling, right? It has a ceiling of wealth creation,
Mm.
and if you want to break through that, get in the game sooner rather than later. But no regrets, brother. No
Yeah,
regrets. My journey's been my journey. God's been good
yeah,
to me. Family's been good. So yeah, get in the game. Stop the dopamine and get in the game. That's my
right, right.
advice.
Get in the game. Awesome. And we have had an incredible conversation and very, very insightful. And it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode. If you're ready, let's get started with the second rapid fire round.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. And Dave, if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Faith over fear.
Faith over fear. All right. And one word that defines you today.
Persistent.
The most expensive mistake you have ever made.
$19.6 million.
Oh my God. And a morning ritual that sets your day up for success.
Prayers, meditation, gratitude.
And one book every leader must read.
So many. I like Oren Claff. Oren Claff wrote a book called Pitch
Mm,
Anything. Talks about the mindset
mhm.
of sales and service. So I like that book. It's a pretty good book.
And biggest myth about wealth that you want to bust.
Mm, self-made millionaire. No such thing.
And your favorite quote to live by.
Kind of biblical. Do unto others. Do unto others as you would have done unto
Mhm,
you.
mhm.
You know what I mean? That goes across all faiths, all
Right.
religions. Just be a good dude. You know what I mean? Be a
Right,
good
yeah.
guy.
That's a
Mm,
good one, actually. And then when it comes to the word legacy, what is the first image that comes to your
my
mind?
sons,
Hmm.
my sons.
Here comes the last one for the second rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
Teleportation. I'd like I'd like to teleport to wherever I need to go so I don't waste time in traffic or airlines or jets or any of that silliness. I'd like to step in. I want to be like James T. Kirk on the USS Enterprise. That's what I would like.
Hmm. I think that might become a reality. I don't know,
Mm,
because many people are wishing for that.
mm.
And after that amazing second rapid fire, let's flip back to the mainstream. So, Dave, what advice do you have for someone feeling stuck in their current career and someone who wants to pivot like you did?
Yeah, look, identify somebody who's doing what it is that you want to do and then commit to learning it and implementing it. You know, it flows with the narrative of this conversation. You know, it sounds cheesy, but people seem to forget, right? I'm stuck, and yet they don't do anything different,
Mhm.
right? So to be able to change takes courage, but massive action, massive
Right.
passion will give massive results, right? So stop complaining and whining. Stop sitting there with your hand out and start thinking about a hand up, right?
Mm.
What value can you bring? And if you do those things, it just changes the landscape. It really does.
Right. Mhm. Right. Got it. And yeah, Dave, it was such a pleasure hosting you. I loved every bit of our conversation, and it was fun filled, and most importantly, it was quite insightful. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice podcast?
It's been great. I get to look at your smiling face, brother. How sweet it is, right? How sweet it is. There's a dopamine hit in a good conversation. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And really appreciate you joining us, and looking forward to hosting you again in future. And I wish you all the very best in everything that you do.
Thank you.
So friends, that was our episode with Dave Seymour. And before we get into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. If you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues or family members, whoever would also like TGV, the guiding voice, to spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. And it's time for us to cruise into the trivia segment. So today's trivia is about some lesser known facts about the terms that we have used. And one of them is flipping. And you know, the term flipping in real estate became mainstream only after shows like Flipping Boston and Flipping This House aired in the early 2000s, massively popularizing property entrepreneurship. And second fact is that the private equity real estate market in the United States, it crossed $1.6 trillion in assets under management by 2024, and driven by institutional investors seeking stable returns and tech volatility. Third fact is Dave Seymour's firefighter to fund leader journey, right, mirrors a larger trend. Nearly 40% of successful entrepreneurs globally come from non-business backgrounds, and proving grit beats pedigree. And the last is that research by Harvard Business Review shows that leaders who build process equity structured systems which are rooted in values outperform competitors by over 30% in long-term sustainability.
Hmm.
So this is it from the trivia perspective, and we conclude the episode today. So folks, thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. Until next time, take care, and remember, the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.